You're just like,
how do I look?
Beautiful.
No, I feel like you can make a much stronger argument why you should publish the gang shooting than the random guy who fell down the stairs.
Right, okay.
Because the gang shooting, it does actually affect people. You know, for them to see the pictures of the dead people in their neighborhood,
on the occasion of every
they
impression
should
of
probably
the
care
soul
more.
on the soul.
Oh.
Apply to the principles of
Epic punishment. Yeah, not really.
Like, I get
Well, I
what
want to
you're
do a
saying.
war to make it more
Some
graphic.
I'm well.
Oh,
well,
really?
I mean, during the war,
Right,
yeah,
street look.
Yeah, I don't think, like, if it's just like, oh, here's like a
That's
thing
the
that
kind of thing
happened,
that
like, you're
that's
never
much
gonna see it.
stronger
I'm going to war now.
LOL, this guy fell over.
Right,
Or
Like of their house.
yeah, or like
I mean,
there's a
there's
picture,
Yeah.
or like a profile of them, like a profile picture of like when they were alive or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't show a picture of them dead. I mean, that's probably them in their most vulnerable, first of all.
Yeah.
It's graphic, we'd probably be getting a lot of complaints. The family said no to it
The news
already.
station is commonly known to put things up like this.
Is it
With
TMZ?
Well, they'd be
backlash.
shut down.
I hate TMZ.
They'd probably get shut down
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, but Nightcrawler got
Oh,
his,
yeah?
his news in there. The debate has already started.
Oh, we're
Nightcrawler
doing this
got his submissions accepted.
Real quick, Marco, so if we're doing this one, are we gonna do like, actually form like groups on either side
All
of
right,
it?
who wants it published?
Also, is it the gang shooting,
Is the gang shooting?
or is it the guy
It
falling?
has nothing to do with the stairs.
Okay, it is the gang shooting?
It's gang shooting.
Alright, I'll be on publish.
I'll be on,
I'll be on
join you.
non-publish.
You're on non-publish?
Not published.
Not
Oh
published.
my God! It's everybody against one again.
Wait, what?
No, I'm on his side. I wanna fight on his side.
Publish. We got 3-3.
Yeah,
Because no, you said not publish?
bro.
You should not publish, right?
don't
I said
fully
not
agree with
publish.
you.
Did you say publish?
Yeah.
Oh, you said
Yeah.
publish.
I said not.
Dude,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not hearing things.
I wanna practice fighting.
My doctor's right.
Bro,
I
you
need
need
to
to
stop
talk.
smoking.
It's more fun to fight.
Marco,
guys
should
on
you and I
Yeah,
switch?
I got
You need to
practice
stop
doing
smoking.
that.
Yep.
Should you and I switch seats then? So it's like,
Yeah, so it's 3-3.
yeah.
Maybe you angle the camera from over there.
Marco,
That way we
come
get
over
it on
here.
the
Come over here.
Dude, you're in headlights.
While you're up moving the camera.
No, you're right.
Ah, bro.
Mark, I get us kicked out of the
Oh, God. Oh, don't scuff
Not
your suit.
meditations.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
No,
Give us a snack.
Thank you.
So it's down the middle.
Warm this seat up.
Do we want to take like 3 minutes to prepare our side's argument?
Yes, let us do this.
Okay.
Let's see.
Marcus Aurelius says.
Marcus Aurelius
I think
says.
you're right.
My brother's name is Marcus, and our last name is Garel. So our friend always says, well, all of her friends are like Marcus Gaurelius.
Here, let me see if the angles go over there. You guys talk about it. I'll join in a sec.
Because especially if
I just think it's not needed.
Okay, like, I think they could take two different angles on this thing.
Yeah.
Like either like it's gonna be it would like a hard news story where it's this is what happened, the crime, the
Yeah.
like, what kind of happened.
With a clear like warning before.
And the middle like that. Okay, that should be good.
Someone was shot.
Yeah.
And it's like
We
it
need
shows,
another
like,
one.
That
We gotta
should
have
be
that like some sort of conflict.
Like, you don't
They're
see
gonna
some,
obviously say, oh, the
like,
family
bodies or
wants this.
No, it looks good by the way.
How can we say?
You don't look good.
Yeah, he does look good.
Yeah. You got good contrast today.
But
All right.
How do we argue that?
I don't remember any
Like, the
time
respect to the
we-
family, you know, because that's the moral thing to
Like, I
do.
think we could make examples.
Yes, but very rare. So you're cool with like doing public that, right?
They lose that privacy if a person.
No, they don't lose the right to privacy, but
They lose the right to not be
not
seen dead in the street.
People need to know this. People need to know what's happening so that they're safe. You know, the inner workings of your family, you know, they need to be regarded by, you know, thought about and considered by us. But, you know, there's
Come on, guys. We gotta avoid Hitler one day.
Exactly.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, but here's my point. We're gonna hear it later. Here's my, I can't wait to hear it, but anyway, here's my point. So, the greater society is much more important than the fact that we want to keep this in your family a secret.
Yeah.
You know, because now it's dangerous.
It's very yeah, and I would argue Vietnam broadcasting
Dude,
that good.
oh
So
yeah,
the
Vietnam.
lore
We can
of
talk about that. The news shows the dead bodies.
Yeah, but that's war. That's war.
Sure,
That's
but
not
this is
happening in your
also- this is
backyard.
war in their backyard.
Because
They're
Gang
doing it.
wars,
Yeah.
yeah.
In Vietnam, that's when people saw the severity of war. Before I was like, oh, yeah, fight for your right. And now it's like, after now, it's like, this is brutal, this is violent.
It's something that you can like read while you're eating. Fantastic.
Yes.
So like if you're like looking at
That's good.
something,
So we can so it's not gonna stop.
Yeah, yeah, it's not eating.
Impact on the community.
Yeah, Vietnam was the greatest war on TV.
I think
Yes, and that's what got people to like
Actually be
outrage.
against the war.
Yeah, because they saw the severity of it. They saw their sons
clarification.
dying, just
I
like
want-
this scenario, Marco.
Yeah.
My God!
I think we got a good start.
So I think each of us have a point.
it's not.
Yeah,
it's
we all
not-
three of us
it's
just
not-
made
it's not
individual
necessary.
points.
It
Wow.
shows you don't point.
Wow.
Like we know what.
I'm the-
It can be
Yeah.
described.
Tony, and do you want to be the moderator in case things get out of hand?
Could you also be
I
our
don't
reminder?
If
We
somebody
start a gang
is
fight.
struggling with an argument,
We start a gang.
kind of jump in and maybe offer something.
And constructive, constructive.
Yeah.
criticism would be great.
Awesome.
We want to grow. All right, who wants to go
It's
first?
the idea of the club to grow.
I say we offer you.
Beforehand, I'm actually gonna move the camera, because since we're like this, I feel like it'll be.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
right here.
I will start.
That's
bad happening.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a good start.
Yes.
No, I know.
No, I'm
No, those are banned.
I can't even say it. What is
Ad
it?
hominem.
Ad hominem.
Yeah.
Bam.
I vouch to the debate club gods that I will not do ad hominem.
You're looking at the gods right now. Him.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Not.
We are the debate club
So
gods.
gods.
We're the founders.
We're the
Yeah.
council. Anyways.
Who were the actual
I'm ready.
founders? 'Cause I kind of joined in
Team
like
Marco.
All right.
second
The
generation.
people who put this together are the founders.
All right.
Anyway. So, we think we should publish this gang violence photo of the dead guy in the suburbs. It takes place in the suburbs. And our reason is, we have many reasons, but my individual reason is, the family comes out and they say they don't want this published because they don't want this kind of publicity. But this gang member should have known that the dangers that he is bringing upon the community need to be broadcast and publicized. So the desire for the family to remain secret is not trumped by the overall community.
Can you say that again? Part of that just didn't really make sense.
Make sense to you guys?
I think so.
Partially.
The community needs to know this over the fact that the family wants to keep it secret. The community is at risk, and the family wants to keep it secret. What do? We want to expose this and broadcast
Why
this
is the community at risk again?
because of the gang violence. Now it's in their backyard.
Well, I feel like.
Don't you give your opening statement next?
Oh yes. You're right.
Oh, we're doing
You're
the
right.
opening statement. Got it. Okay.
All right, go ahead. Are you finished? You had 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm finished. You guys understand?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Go ahead, Team Noah.
Oh God, we're Team Me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, guys. Do you guys want me to do
I
that?
Team Noah.
Yeah, one of us can do it if we want.
I'll do it.
Let's hear it from
Okay.
Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't think there's any, it's not necessary to publish a picture of the body because, I mean, you can describe everything that happened in the actual story or in the lead, like the first paragraph, getting people, like you're gonna say where it happened, what happened, maybe how it happened and why it happened, and that's gonna be, you're gonna be explaining to people that it's in your backyard, like what you were saying, it's dangerous, it could be, it's a dangerous thing, a problem that needs to be addressed. Plus, I don't really see what value of adding the specific picture is because, and as we talked about in like that class, like when you are deciding like what to publish, and there's exceptions, like we brought up like major historical events, but when you're deciding what to publish, Gary was saying like, is it a picture that when you're eating your cereal, like in the morning for breakfast, are you gonna lose your appetite over it? Because, and even just aside from that, like, what's gonna put people off, like, from the story? If your idea is to get the message out that this is a problem and you want people to read and understand, if you're starting just with a picture of a body, how many people are gonna be pushed away from that? You know what I mean? And if people are immediately pushed away, throw it on the newspaper, it's like, then they're not even gonna read it. So I think you could end up getting less eyes, even though if you're trying to go for impact, you can go through with words and stuff like that. So I don't know if there's anything else y'all want to say.
You have 15 seconds.
I think that was pretty well put.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rebuttal.
Alright, so if we
Yes.
start?
Yeah.
Through the dawn of time, I think humans have always had the best storytellers as opposed to other animals. I mean, I'm sure whales, they sound like they're talking, but what's as old as us is war. Humans have described war for thousands of years, and from the best bards, Shakespeare, even paintings of war, it just keeps happening. And it wasn't really understood by the public for a long time. I mean, you can see in American history, we're at war every 20 years, and we still are. But war was generally applauded as the thing to do. It's a thing for men to go off and serve. Until there becomes a point where writing doesn't really do justice to the horror of war. And my friend Justin can talk about the first televised war and how that changed everything.
Vietnam was the first televised war, and they showed the brutality of it. Because like during World War II and the Korean War, they wrote about it. You could read what was happening, but you hear, 10,000 people were killed in this certain battle, but to see it is a whole nother thing. So I would argue, we have to show these dead bodies and the severity of it. And a picture can speak 1,000 words. That information is instantly spoken to those people. They don't need to read. They don't have to read. It could be a 5-year-old, and he knows this is horrible.
If I can cut in, please.
Absolutely.
So, on the topic of wars, even with the Vietnam War, I'm actually going to go to the Holocaust for a second.
Okay.
So, when it came to taking pictures of concentration camps, the corpses there, the reason that those pictures were taken was because nobody believed that these concentration camps were a thing. Nobody knew about the
Brutality.
Thank you. Nobody knew about the brutality until those photos. Nobody believed any of that until those photos. I believe that when it comes to something that big, then... Sorry, let me just...
Should photos only be taken if it's that big of an event?
Do you mind if I have?
Yes.
I think what he's trying to say is when it's uncovering or proving something is when it could be justified. But in the sense of a gang violence like this, it's happening, it's not hidden. It's not like it needs to be revealed to the public that
No,
these
it
things
certainly
are
needs to be
So
revealed.
we
It
have
always
to-
needs to be
We have
revealed.
to sanitize it. We gotta make sure it won't upset people when they're having their breakfast.
We always make that
Let me
argument.
say this. Let me say this though. I read a book a few months ago, and it had both the writing, but then the pictures of the actual historical events and stuff that were in it. I don't remember a single body being shown, and all of the emotion for me, it was one of the most emotional books I've ever read, a true story.
Yeah.
All of it came from the words.
Exactly.
Every single thing.
What book was this?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
I'm not looking at that.
I can talk about it later, but
Well, a journalist doesn't really write like that. I mean, how
it was
is it
written by a journalist.
Really?
David Grant.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
David Grant.
it was
from the
written
New York
like a
Post.
journalist would write it.
I think it was a little different, but it was written by a journalist. That's his job.
Was it written like a news article? Because Vonnegut was trained as a journalist, and so was Hemingway, and they both write like journalists. Was it kind of written like a fiction-y kind of journalist way?
I'm gonna say this is off topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's kind of beside the point. Also, you can show pictures, and I realize this is kind of more of a conspiracy theory kind of thing. But when the photo Napalm Girl from the Vietnam War came out, who was the president at the time of the United States?
Like
Oh,
Nixon.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Was it
Nixon.
Nixon?
He said when it came out, he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if that photo was doctored. So it's like, you know, like, yes, it's going to impact plenty of people, but also it's like, you're going to have to, like, explaining, like, what happened by going through and, like, getting quotes of people who were there, and that comes in through quotes and writing.
Yeah, and I don't think that would come off as sanitization, because I think it is still informing the people about this and being detail-oriented, but with text. I think the needless brutality of photos like that only could glorify.
Why is it needless?
No, it's not.
I think it'd be needless because you can describe it by words.
You can describe anything by words.
True.
Exactly.
But
So why
uncovering
show it?
things works a lot better with your eyes than your brain kind of
Imagine it.
decrypting the words.
I will say when it comes to between words and pictures, with words, you know, you can describe a lot more of the scene than just a picture. You can add quotes in of the people surrounding. You can't do that with a picture.
Well,
was that
ideally,
just a picture?
both work together. I think you have a
Yeah.
fair
Mhm.
point that you can get a lot across with words, you know. But you know, some journalists just they write very factually. If they're
Yeah.
writing very emotionally, you know, and very well put, that can speak a ton.
Yeah.
But ideally, these two are gonna pair very well. This photo with the text. Let's
Yeah.
make the best impact. I'm not saying just the photo. I'm saying the words with the photo.
I see what you're
Journalists is always trying to uncover something, and they have to use photos. Like this thing with the Holocaust, they're both doing the same thing, with the pictures and the gang violence, because not everybody knows this stuff. So to look at a picture of the gang violence in your backyard and to describe it with words
Yes.
is going to merge both elements.
If I can interject.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to the Holocaust stuff, there was a point to that. Other than showing the brutality, it was showing that these places, concentration camps, were an actual thing. That's kind of the thing it was proving. Going back to the Vietnam War, when it was showing all that brutality, there was a purpose to it other than showing the brutality. Everyone in America were under the impression that America was winning the war, they'd be coming back. This was showing America that they weren't in fact winning the war. There was a point to it other than the brutality. And I will say one more thing. When it comes to this gang violence, as much as I hate to say it, it's very commonplace. It's something that honestly happens a lot more than, say, World War II or the Vietnam War.
Genocide happens all throughout history. It's very common. It's not just in Europe. It's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
And I hear you that they had a purpose, right? The Holocaust had a purpose. The Vietnam had a purpose. This has a purpose too. You know, people are unaware. Some people might be.
They're unaware
right?
of the fight
They're
going on
unaware
between the state
of the brutality.
and the criminals with
Right.
weapons.
They may hear that there's gun violence. They may read about it. They may, you know,
They may hear gunshots.
They may hear gunshots,
but they don't know.
see it. They don't see
When we talk
We
about
need to
gun
show
regulation,
people.
Justin, right? Like when we talk about gun regulation, all you really hear people say is the kind of robotic, like, oh, the criminals are still going to get guns, but how do they still get guns?
We need
So,
to, I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
We need to speak in both languages, visual and written language, to make the most impact.
I don't think that. I think having visuals is important, but specifically showing a dead body isn't needed. I think you could still have a photo of the crime scene, but after they do like how they do like the taping and stuff like that during investigation, I think showing the body specifically isn't necessarily needed to still have an image and an impact.
Yeah, and think about Dateline. My mom watches Dateline constantly, and they'll show bodies sometimes, but a lot of the time it's just like, here's like, blood on the wall or something, or here's like,
Maybe an outline of the dead guy.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, or something
You
like
can
that.
still get
Does-
material.
Does that give you the
Enough.
impact? Does that give you enough?
I mean, well, okay, going back to the book I was talking about earlier, I can't remember any specific like violent picture. I think there was a crime scene photo, but it just showed like a car or something like that, kind of driven off the road, and that was it. And it gave impact, but the impact came from reading before and then seeing the aftermath after. Well, not even really the aftermath, but then seeing it after. So for me, the words did far more than just seeing the pictures.
If I could say something.
And while there's a moment, are groups going longer than 10 minutes?
Okay.
I think so. I think
Go
groups
to
can.
15?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could say
Because
15.
it's so many people.
Five more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, something that could be done. So, as we were saying about having a different picture instead of the dead body, going back to the whole if you can read it while eating breakfast thing, having something like that, say the outline of the body or the crime scene, is a lot better for people to see and read while eating breakfast. So a lot of people are going to read that more than showing absolute brutality and throw their paper away.
A lot more accessible.
Yeah, I feel like you can lose I feel like the risk of losing your audience is greater than, I feel like possibly impacting them slightly less is better than fully losing a chunk of your audience.
Justin, do you think that's sanitizing?
I think so. I think, okay,
I like
so
that
we're
too.
putting the risk of our newspaper and people not buying our
Set you up.
newspaper. No, we're putting the risk of our newspaper. We're not gonna sell as many newspapers. We're gonna lose customers. But they're aware of something. We're going full impact.
But
what is more valuable? We
I
sell
think
more
you can still
newspapers.
impact though.
There needs to be a balance, like 70-30 principle.
When it comes to the impact, say you have, take for example, you have a nice juicy steak in front of you. Okay?
I like steak.
You put some salt, put some pepper on it. If you put the entire bottle of pepper on it, who's gonna want to eat it?
I think it's a faulty comparison.
Are we putting the entire bottle of pepper on it?
I think we
Some
are.
would say yeah.
But
With the photo, we are?
yeah, but
And another thing I will say, going away from that, because, okay.
Oh, steak.
You see, I feel like we're not really sanitizing it because we're keeping all the words the same. We're keeping the article the same. We're just not having such a hard to look at picture be our front line.
Exactly.
I think there are a few crucial points. One, for somebody to say, to me, it is better to read than look at pictures. Fair, but that's not really too valid because I'm stupid and have a very poor reading level, so pictures mean much more to me. Beyond that, do you remember all of the news stories you've heard about murders? Because I sure as hell don't. But do I remember the last time I vomited? Yes. So maybe we should be putting all of the pepper on the steak. Because I can guarantee you, if your goal is to make an impact, that is going to make a bigger impact. There's some person sitting down to eat their breakfast that sees a teenager with his brains blown out, well, they're probably going to feel revolted. But if they see, oh, another shooting, blah, who cares? If we want maximum impact, to actually get people to care about the issues and possibly maybe take better care of their kids, help their kids not go into gangland violence, maybe they should vomit a little. Maybe we'll sell fewer, but we might have a bigger impact.
You guys ever look at the articles of the Oxford shooting? I haven't. I'm not sure if there's
I
any.
did.
Are there dead bodies? Are there dead bodies?
No, there's not.
Well, perhaps there should be, because this is what happens. This is what you need to see. Because right now, for me and a lot of people, it's this thing that's really far away until it hits home. And if you see that picture, it's a little bit more home in your heart.
But one that I read, it was a feature story about one of the kids who was in the bathroom with another kid, and the other kid died.
I don't want
And, like, okay.
If you don't mind, I graduated from Oxford this past spring.
I mean, I don't mean it like that.
No,
It's okay. It's
I don't
totally,
mean to
it's
shut
totally,
you off.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
I
like
didn't mean
kinda-
to shut you off. It's just, it's close.
It is graphic.
No, I know.
Close.
I live there. I live
Oh,
right
do you?
across the
Okay.
street from the high school. So
Okay,
like, I don't,
yeah. No, and I
It's
get what
totally
you're
cool.
saying.
I didn't mean to shut you down or anything.
No, yeah, it's fine.
It is extremely graphic,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and to see a photo like that.
Yeah.
And see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want.
Clearly, we already are having an impact without visually seeing.
Yeah,
it.
I don't think like what I was
shootings
talking
are comparable to gangland violence, though.
Why is that?
Because I think the kids that perpetrate school shootings would probably like to see that type of thing. Whereas gangland violence is most perpetrated by young men. Young men start as teenagers living with their parents, probably, unless they're out on the streets. But either way, that is, to them, that might be more of a deterrent to see, like, oh yeah, could very likely be my brains blown out, where a school shooter might be like, yippee! I can do that. I just don't think those are the same type of crime. And I think one might actually incentivize somebody who wants to do that, whereas another might actually act as a deterrent.
You think that a school shooting, a photo of the aftermath of a school shooting would inspire the right kind of person
Maybe.
to do that?
I'm not saying it would, but it could. I think it's more likely.
More so
that-
than a gang violence.
Yeah, because
okay.
if I'm a gang member and I see that, I might think like, ooh.
That could be me.
Well,
yeah.
But
I
but
feel
why?
like-
I mean, a lot of people just get roped into gangs like based on like where they grew up and stuff like that, and like the level of income. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily always I'm gonna join a gang, and it's like, oh, I see like this thing, so now it's like, oh, now I want to leave. It's like
I'm not saying
Right,
that, but I'm just
yeah.
saying it's a false equivalency to say that publishing the pictures of school shooting victims is the same as publishing.
I would argue though, because for school shootings, I feel like there has been a glorification in the news
Yeah.
of school shootings, and I
agree.
There's been an uptick whenever there's a big major one. There's typically more,
Right.
and I feel like if possibly showing stuff for gang violence, it would be a similar occurrence.
That doesn't happen.
But his point is that they're not comparable in that way.
Because there's a glorification element of school shooters. And I feel like we're getting pretty far off topic, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, we hit 15, but this is like a new topic.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a glorification behind
That's
school shooters
true.
that they see that kind of thing. They would probably be interested in that. Whereas that same glorification doesn't exist. Or at least that's not a motivation.
I see what you're
That's
saying.
why I think the two are
I see
separate.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because one is glorified, one isn't.
Yeah, people don't see gang violence on the news and go, "Oh, I should do that."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
right,
let me
yeah.
get some credit.
I see what you're saying.
Like, you know,
I get your point now. Because at first I wasn't understanding your point, but I get what you're saying now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like we've spent.
that was a
Right,
good
60,
debate.
It was good.
I liked it.
Should we do for group debate, should we say like between X amount of time? Or I feel like 15 was a good amount of
15's
time.
good.
Yeah.
And if it runs its course in 8,
Yeah,
you know,
if it runs
we'll end it
yeah.
at 8. I think
This is a
Yeah.
good one, guys.
it was a
Yeah,
good
that was a
debate.
good
Yeah.
debate. That was a good debate.
Any
Any thoughts?
constructive
Yeah, what do you
criticism? I'd
think,
love to hear some.
Anything else you guys want to say?
Hold on, Noah. Don't stop it yet.
Yeah, keep the criticism.
Yeah.
Thought they carried it for the first 10 minutes, but you guys closed it real strong.
Yeah, I would
It was-
agree with
It was
that.
good on all of it. I think the only thing that might have been missed on your end that would have shut it down, assuming the gang things still happen in the house, the only thing I thought of is if you're taking a picture in private property and publish it, that would open you up to lawsuits.
Yeah.
But that would have probably ended the debate.
Oh.
Yeah.
In terms of the sides and things you presented, both sides did really well. Okay.
Thanks.
Cool.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree though. You
I-
guys did end very strong.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
some of your points, I was like, oh shoot, I gotta really think about that. It was really good.
I was just sitting
And I
back
was
and
like,
waiting.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you.
I just wanted to hear everybody's points and then be like,
Yeah, when you came, I noticed that. I was like, he started, backed out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
talk
likes
for
to
12
play.
minutes.
Yeah,
He likes to
that
play
was-
with you like a cat.
Yeah.
Playing with a dead
Or
rat.
like
He'll
a
watch you a little
lawyer.
bit, and then he'll go.
No, that was very good. But everybody did a
Yeah.
very good job. There
Yeah.
wasn't somebody who I was like, oh, gee.
Yeah, no, this is a good crew.
I thought
This is a very
everyone
good
did
crew.
really exceptional.
Did you? I haven't seen you like debate before.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking that.
yeah. I really
Thank
liked
you.
your point about the writing. I didn't even consider that, like how it can be, you know, like
Yeah.
Writing has
eloquent.
got me fucked up. You ever read Stephen King?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
oh my god, dude.
You were talking about that in
Oh,
class. Oh my
yeah.
god.
He's got
yeah.
good atmosphere.
Yeah, he writes disturbing things.
But,
No, you get a
the
writer
way he
like
writes
that
it.
to write your story, that's all the detail you need.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and,
What's that, Noah?
and again, I don't mean I'm like
Oh.
I know
You
that
gotta
like
write it
that's a
like-
super sensitive topic I was talking about, and I don't mean to like,
No, it's okay. I
bother
didn't.
anyone.
It
or
was just
anything
more. I
like
just was
that.
like.
I was just like-
because,
No,
like,
I get
that
it.
was
I
my
totally
friend
get it.
in the bathroom.
It was?
Yeah. But
That made me-
that's why I
That
was
made me
like.
cry, man. That was horrible.
Hey, it's okay.
No, I mean, it was a terrible situation.
But yeah, I mean, good job, everybody.
Yeah, I thought we all did really good.
Good points.
Yeah.
Now, Marco and Tony, are you guys gonna debate?
Fine.
What time is it?
Yeah, we'll do
I gotta watch.
I
the
think it
clock
was
a little
7.
bit.
It's 7:16.
Okay, I got time.
What are you
7:16.
gonna do, Justin?
I gotta do some homework.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do
Yeah,
need
you
to
got
head
a
out
tight
around
schedule. I just wrote down an idea.
7:30-ish.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of them
I
one-page
gotta
stories.
my homework. My homework's done. I just need to submit it.
Why? You submitted it.
It was because we did it in class and I just forgot to.
Oh, this is gonna be a good
Do the
day.
honors.
Do you want me to
Oh.
stop the recording and restart it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I gotta go to bed.
I drink water. Good
I
luck.
just gotta throw something out. Like when we were desert.